If you want to add some variations to this to give it a little more interest, here's a way you can change, a couple of ways you can change the right hand part, or the upper part. Here's something you can add to the left hand part for a little bit of variation. With the very low bass, instead of playing G both times, why don't you play G the first time, and then the fifth of the scale, fifth of the chord, which is a D, so it'll be like this. Okay, then when you play the C chord, play the bass, C, and then play a G, which is the fifth of the chord. So you have something like this. There's a second part I want to show you that goes with the upper or the right hand side. 1, 2. And back into the first part. And so on. But what if you don't have a partner around? You can learn to play the whole thing by yourself. And I'm going to simplify it a little bit to make it easier. On the upper part, we'll play it with just one hand instead of two, because we're going to save our left hand to play the bass part. So with your right hand, play like this. And the left hand part is going to be a little bit easier. Here's our G7 chord. The G is going to be here. The 7th note, or the F, will be right there, and we'll use the 5th, or the D, so like this. This makes it real simple. And here's the C chord. C, E, and G. So the left hand accompaniment will sound like this. Together, it'll be sort of like this. A little bit more challenging, but a lot more fun once you can do it. Okay, a variation on the left hand. Instead of having it so simple, when you're ready to move on, let's put the first note, that low bass note, down here in the G. And then play the D the second time, so it'll be like this. And let's do the C like this. Play that low C way down there. A little more challenging, but much more satisfying. Anything you can do that maintains notes or melody within the same chords that you're playing for your accompaniment is going to sound good as a variation. So for the G chord, when we're playing the G chord, play something around the G chord. And the notes of a G chord, G major chord, are G, B, and D. So you might do something like this. Little melody variation, and then when you play the C chord, do something similar. Play notes of the C major chord. Notes of the C major chord are C, E, G, and C. So we can do this. Okay, here's variation, some examples of playing notes around the G major chord and the C major chord. Variations on the melody. See if I can do it.